Enough that my brother texted me last month to ask if something was wrong between us. I told him I was stressed from work. He said, "You know, you can always talk to me." And I sat with my phone in my hand for a long time after that, reading those words over and over, thinking about the absolute strangeness of receiving comfort from the person at the center of the thing that is destroying my peace. My sister and I used to be close in that easy, unspoken way that sisters sometimes are. We called each other 3 or 4 times a week, just to talk about nothing. Work, food, something funny that happened on the bus. We haven't had one of those calls in months. She hasn't pushed. I haven't reached out. There is a distance between us now that neither of us has named, and both of us, I think, can feel. My sleep is broken most nights. I wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning with my mind already running, going over the same questions, arriving at the same dead ends, finding no new paths through. I have lost weight. My appetite comes and goes. A colleague at work asked me last week if I was okay, and I said yes. And she looked at me in a way that told me she didn't fully believe me, but was too polite to push. The cruelest part is this: I did nothing wrong. I picked up a phone to help my sister. I opened a folder that was unlocked. I did not go looking for this. This found me. And yet here I am, carrying it like I am the one who did something that needs to be hidden. Like the knowledge itself is the crime. Family gatherings have become performances I have to prepare for. I sit at the table and I watch them. The way they interact, the careful normalness of it, the small practiced distance they maintain in public. And I think about what is underneath all of that careful normalness. And I feel sick. And then I feel guilty for feeling sick. And then I feel angry that I feel guilty. It is an exhausting loop that starts fresh every single time we are all in the same room. I know what I saw. There is no version of this where I misunderstood. I have tried to build one. God knows I have tried, but it doesn't hold. The photographs were real. The messages were real. The relationship is real. And it has been real for long enough that they have built a whole private world around it, hidden inside the same house where the rest of us have been living our ordinary lives, completely unaware. That is what I keep coming back to. Not just the fact of what they are doing, but the architecture of the deception. How carefully it must have been constructed. How many moments we all shared as a family where this was already happening underneath, where the smiles and the Sunday lunches and the birthday calls were all built on top of something none of us were allowed to see. I don't know when it started. I don't know if it began here, under this roof, or somewhere else. I don't know if either of them struggled with it, or if it simply happened, and they decided together to hold on to it no matter what. I don't know if they have ever talked about what it means for the future, for our parents, for their own futures, for the family as a whole. I don't know any of that, and the not knowing is its own particular torment. What I do know is that silence has a cost too. I thought that keeping this inside was protecting everyone. But I am beginning to understand that it is only protecting the secret. It is not protecting me. It is not protecting my family. It is just keeping the damage invisible for a little while longer. And invisible damage is still damage. It is just the kind that surprises you later, when the wall finally gives. I cannot keep pretending I am fine. I cannot keep manufacturing excuses for why I am distant, why I am quiet, why I am somewhere else even when I am sitting right in front of them. Something has to change. I just do not yet know what that something is, or whether I am strong enough to be the one to change it. I am writing this because I needed, at least once, to say it out loud, even like this, even anonymously, to strangers on the internet who do not know my face, or my name, or my family. Because carrying something this heavy with no outlet, no one to tell, no one to ask, no safe place to put any of it, starts to feel like it is physically altering you, like it is pressing on something vital. I do not have a plan. I want to be honest about that. I have no clean resolution to offer you, no moment where everything becomes clear and I know exactly what to do. I am still in the middle of it. I am still going home to that house, still sitting at that table, still watching my mother serve food to her children with a warmth and a pride that she has earned and that she deserves, and knowing that somewhere underneath the surface of the life she thinks she has, there is a truth that would devastate her. Some days, I think the only right thing is to confront my brother and sister directly, privately, without going to my parents first, just the three of us, and ask them plainly, what is this? How long has this been happening? And what do you plan to do about it? Give them the chance to explain, or to end it, or to figure out between themselves how to handle what comes next. At least then, it is no longer only mine to carry. Other days, I think that confronting them would only force the explosion sooner, and that the damage from that explosion would ripple out in every direction and touch people who have done nothing wrong. My younger siblings, my parents, every relative who has ever looked at this family and seen something worth admiring. And I think, is that my right? Is it my place to light that match? And then there are the darkest days, the 3 a.m. days, where I sit with the question that I am most afraid of, the one that I don't want to ask, because I don't want to know what it says about me that I'm asking it. What if I say nothing forever and simply learn to live with this? What if that is, somehow, the most merciful thing? What if some truths are so costly that the people they would hurt most are better off never knowing? I don't believe that, not really. But I understand now why people tell themselves they do. I understand the quiet seduction of choosing not to burn everything down. I understand it in a way I never did before. And that understanding frightens me more than almost anything else about this whole situation. So here I am, still in the middle, still carrying it, still showing up to Sunday lunches and passing the rice and laughing when I am supposed to laugh. Still the middle child, the one nobody worries about, the one who is always fine, the one who doesn't need checking on. I am not fine. I have not been fine for 8 months, and I don't know when that changes or what has to happen first before it does. What I know is this: I did not ask to be the keeper of this secret. It was put in my hands without my consent, through an unlocked folder on a phone I was only trying to help with. And now I am standing in a corridor between 2 possible versions of my family's future. The one where everyone goes on not knowing, and the one where everything falls apart in the open. And I cannot find a single door in that corridor that leads somewhere safe. If you are reading this, and you have ever been in a place like this, where you know something you never asked to know, and where every choice available to you has a cost you don't feel ready to pay, then you already understand what I am trying to say. And if you haven't, I hope genuinely that you never do. Some secrets don't just belong to the people who made them. Sometimes they reach out and find the most innocent person in the room and make them pay the price for a truth they never chose to carry. This was one voice that stayed in the dark for a long time, until today. If you're carrying something silently, just remember you're not alone. This is the confession chamber, where secrets speak and truth begins to breathe. If this story made you feel something, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, so more voices don't stay hidden in silence. And if you have a story, you can share it anonymously. Just press submission link on below. Maybe it will be the next voice heard here, because sometimes healing begins with telling the truth. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.